So Shell committed to a net zero target by 2050, but we also committed to a number of targets along the way. And we committed in terms of emissions to a net zero world, including scope 1, 2, and 3. So if you look at what we have done over the last few years, I think we're making good progress overall. So in scope 1 and 2, we have now increased our commitments by 2030, and you can see a lot of those details in our Energy Transition Progress Report, which was recently published. But let me talk about the area that I'm mostly involved in, which is scope 3. So I lead the business that essentially provides energy to a number of sectors, including aviation, transportation, on the road, and also marine. And we are also making good progress in that category, not only in the generation of demand for lower carbon solutions, but also in the supply of lower carbon solutions. So we just announced a big investment at our refinery in Rotterdam to produce low carbon fuels. We're also bringing bio-LNG to ports. We are just announced a number of final investment decisions around renewable natural gas and so on. So I think we're making good progress in terms of really starting to offer, at scale some solutions so our customers within the sectors that I mentioned can start decarbonizing. When we look at decarbonization, we tend to always think through three lenses. One is how can we eliminate them, how can we reduce, and how can we abate or offset them. And in all of them, innovation plays a significant role. So if you think about eliminating, it is all about finding ways in which we can collaborate, for example, with original equipment manufacturer, with infrastructure providers, to see how can we bring scale to new solutions. If you look at low carbon fuels, what we are working on is on innovations, on technologies that actually allow us to increase the number of feedstock that we can process to make low carbon fuels. When you talk about reduction of emissions, it's about efficiency. So we, for example, have a tool called Shell Telematics. They are used on transportation fleets, reduce 14% fuel consumption. That is material. We also have a company called MachineMax, which allows you to understand idling equipment, right? So equipment that is with engine on, not moving, and then you can optimize. So there's a lot to do around reduction. And of course, you always have the ability to offset. But I think, innovation applied to eliminating, innovation applied to reducing, it is where we are spending a lot of time. And at the end of the day, it's about how do you bring the ecosystems, the players within an ecosystem, within a sector to really collaborate and, as you asked, create the business model that allow the economic will to deliver those solutions, not only at scale, but in an affordable way. So this is my first time at ITF, and I was reflecting this morning of the great, what I would call the convening power of the ITF, and just here see government officials, industry bodies, private enterprise, all around tables, really discussing the big, difficult challenges, but also the opportunities that we have around moving the different transport sectors forward in an energy transition, but also in the backdrop of COVID, also the backdrop of the war in Ukraine. So for me, a lot of what I wanted to achieve this week was that connectedness, because at the end of the day, it's really to collaborate, to work across the different players within a sector, so between different sectors, is going to be absolutely critical. And I am really thankful for the ITF for having put this event and for allowing me to participate in such a way.